to me. I'm your host, Brenda Warren, the Solutionist. I help people turn their mess or their mission into a message for the masses. And today I am thrilled to have a very, very special guest. She is one of my fellow Power 13 team members, a member of the Daddy Daughter Dynamic Project. Miss Rochelle Anderson Moore wrote the chapter No Father's Love. And today, this elder, senior, seasoned, wisdom filled woman is going to share with us her journey to healing, forgiveness, love, and self awareness. Miss Rochelle, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
You know, Miss Rochelle, I've been waiting to talk to you. We've had so many different technical difficulties to get you to be interviewed, and I'm just so thrilled that you could join me today. I'd like to start by asking you, why did you want to be a part of the daddy daughter dynamic at this stage in your life?
Well, there were situations that happened in my life that called me to decide to write a book. I have been holding on to this book for years. I'm kind of really bad with numbers, but it's been a long, long time. A situation happened, and so I started just kind of writing chapters or just chapter titles. And so when this came around, it was like, okay, this is what I need to do. I am thankful that it's not just me and it's with some other powerful women um, to be able to do this. I think I would have still done it on my own. However, an opportunity came about for me to collaborate with this group. So I'm very thankful for that.
So, has this collaboration with these other 12 powerful women spurred you on to continue in writing your own book as well?
Um, I do have a book that I'm writing that I'm going to write and continuing to write. Um, and so yes, it definitely inspired me to continue going on. Like I said, I have like 7 chapters for the book that I'm writing already. So it's just a matter of completing.
I ask that because I understand the importance of collaboration and also doing our own thing. But we're gonna specifically today talk about the daddy daughter dynamic and your involvement in that project. But before we go there, I want you to set some background. Tell us about what you do, who you are, and how you got started and even wanting to do this project. So let's start
Okay.
with, what do you do right now, Miss Rochelle?
Okay. What I do, and what I am. I'm a retired social worker, advanced practice social worker, and that is what I've been doing my adult life. Social work in some kind of way, working with children with disabilities, working with um, our social services department here in Wisconsin. Um, I worked with people with dementia. So my whole background is just helping others. And I have always to always say that I help others more than I help myself. Um, that's what I'm known for.
And so now, as a retiree, is there a pet project that you're working on?
Um, I still work with women in prison. It's a program called Living Free. Um, it's our detention center, and where people are either waiting over for court or waiting over to go to one of the larger institutions in the state. So I do a group called Living Free. I love it because I can kind of teach what I want to teach and whatever they're in need of. Um, and so I've been doing that for the past. I'm very bad in numbers, probably for the
Mhm.
past 15 years,
Yes,
15,
ma'am.
20 years.
Mhm.
I've been doing that. I love engaging with the women and helping them through their processes. Um, I also teach children, youth in schools. I'm with a program called Peace Learning Circles, and we teach young people um, to be peaceful with each other and to to learn how to, when there's a little conflict, how to get through that conflict with the right words and how they feel and that kind of thing. So I do a lot of little different things in my retirement age here.
Miss Rochelle, you have been working with groups now for a while, so I'd like to know, what does working with these 12 women mean to you?
It means quite a bit. I was ready to kind of tell my story on its own. However, having this opportunity, it's just been amazing. Um, love this powerful group of women, and so it makes me feel not so isolated, because I'm all the way in Wisconsin. We're all somewhere different, right? And so it's just, yeah, I just love the sisterhood, I believe, that's being built through this project.
I'd like to know, what is one of the things you've learned about yourself in writing this chapter in this book?
I've learned that I'm sometimes stronger than I think I am, and which allowed me to get through some of my story. um, but this it was necessary, and so yeah, just having that sisterhood.
What would you say is one thing you'd like a reader to get out of reading your chapter in the book, Miss Rochelle?
Um, what I'd like them to get is that, I guess, in some aspect, regardless of what we go through, um, there is always a way to get through it, whether it's writing a book, going to therapy, doing having some a life coach, but that it's hard when you sometimes you isolate yourself, and not being able to, talk about certain things, not wanting people to look at you differently, and yeah, and just being able to use your voice. One of the things that I I stated to myself was that, in my dedication, it's, I dedicated my chapter to the little girl who lost her voice. Um, and so I always want people to find their voice, however difficult it is. It's really necessary to find their voice, whether it's, once again, through going to therapy, getting in a group with women and having conversations, because I don't think we as women sometimes conversate enough. Um, yeah, and so just to being able to step by step, because sometimes it's step by step. It's not any big leaps and jumps, but sometimes it's step by step to get to where you need to be, to forgive, to um, just be able to not, how do I want to say? Sometimes we destroy our own selves, right? We're hard on our own selves, and so remembering that, we're human, and things take time, and depending on what level of dynamic it was taking place for everybody, it's different, and how we go through that process is different depending on what we've experienced.
Absolutely. Ms. Rochelle, what would you say is one of your greatest struggles as it relates to what you've learned since writing your passage right now?
One of my greatest struggles,
Yes, ma'am.
one of my greatest struggles in writing, um, has been what others, in some aspect, what others think or would think. Um, I got past that pretty quickly, because I knew it was my story. It's my story. I can't convince anybody else of, anything different. It's my story, and so I needed to tell my story how I need to tell my story in order to help others. That's my basic reason, for doing this chapter or doing this book. is
When,
to help others.
when you wrote No Father's Love,
Mm.
and you thought about that little girl that had no voice, what
Hmm.
is one thing you'd like to tell her right now after that, since that chapter has been written?
Um, I'm sorry.
No, take it. No need to apologize. Take your time,
No,
Miss
no.
Rochelle.
I'm saying I would tell her I'm sorry.
Okay, I get. Okay, I'm
I would tell
sorry.
her I'm sorry for not being strong enough,
Mm.
or even in some actuality being too young and not even knowing what I need to be sorry for. Um, but yeah, I think she would be a little different person. Um, but I think I've grown into that. But be a little different person if I had not experienced the things that I experienced. But
Thank you for sharing that, for being so vulnerable, Miss Rochelle. I've said from the beginning, as one of our senior members on this project, you have so much wisdom, so much depth, and your story is going to move so many people. And I was wondering, what is something that you used to believe prior to writing this chapter that you no longer believe now?
um, I believe that I wasn't worthy of healthy relationships. Um, Basically that, um, because I kept having these relationships that weren't good for me. There was domestic violence. I was did drugs, um, and I knew all that came from not feeling worthy of
Mhm.
who I was. I
And
know that.
so now that you've written this chapter, are you very clear that you are more than worthy, Miss Rochelle?
Oh yes, definitely,
If
definitely.
if you had one piece of advice for someone that's going to read your story, what would that be?
It would be to know your worthiness and figure out how, know your worthiness, and don't be silent. Don't be silent. Um, I always had someone that I could talk to, um, sometimes during my process of life. Sometimes I didn't. And and then also being like, okay, what are people going to think about me? And different things like that. But as I continue to mature and grow, and sometimes you can't help be who you are.
Mhm.
Um, and so I've always been a giving person. My friends, I'm their confidant, and anybody can call me, and
Mhm.
I'm always giving advice to others and not always taking the advice myself. So I would say to do that too. If um, giving advice is great when people ask for it, but then also remembering to do the same thing for yourself. Um, yeah, so you're not alone.
Our lead author on this project is none other than Miss Focus James, the focus of love. And if you had something you'd like to tell Focus for giving you this opportunity to be a part of this group, what would that be?
Oh, thank her. I thank her so much. She has definitely been a blessing. Um, I'm just thankful. I'm so thankful of this movement that's happening, and to be a part of that. Um, I still would have written my book,
Mhm.
um, but this just really, really helped out to have this sisterhood, to have that we've all experienced things in some kind of way, with our dads. And so this has been just perfect, just perfect. I couldn't have asked for anything more. I think all the difficulty I've had on, as you know, getting on and different things like that, that was just, I think, that ugly spirit that was trying to deter me from continuing. But I'm here.
Yes, ma'am, you are. Yes, ma'am, you are. Miss Rochelle,
Yes.
how has the daddy-daughter dynamic helped you live your best life now?
Whew. A little more open. Well, I've always been open, but just kind of cautious of sometimes who I talk to about certain things. But this has, I'm not sure yet. I know that it's something big that's happening, and I'm just thankful to be here. And hey, however this goes, I'm hoping to live the rest of my best life. Um, as this is all done, as this continues, yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy. I've always wanted to write a book. I always want to be an author. I love reading. And so this has just been perfect. And like I said, I am just so thankful and blessed to be able to be a part of these 13 dynamic, powerful, loving women.
Well, Miss Rochelle, I want to thank you for coming on Talk to Me and sharing your daddy-daughter dynamic experience with me. Again, ladies and gentlemen, her chapter is No Father's Love. It is going to be something that you will not regret taking the time to read. There are 12 other women along with Miss Rochelle that have decided to share their stories and their journeys through their daddy-daughter dynamic. We hope that you will purchase the book when it comes out. We have started the conversation, Miss Rochelle. And for those of you that don't know, we also have a Facebook page where we invite you to join the conversation. Focus James, our lead author, has created a community where we are discussing our journeys to hope, health, healing. We speak to inspire. We live to encourage. And together we can grow stronger. Thank you for joining me today on Talk to Me, Miss Rochelle. And for the rest of my audience, remember, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. Choose wisely and don't be silent. Be blessed.